Hello, everybody. This is Box of Chocolates. It's been a while, 6 months or something like that. I don't know. Well, no, my last one was a couple months ago because the H pylori.
Yeah.
And whatever, that was like my little comeback. And then again, hiatus.
His return from death.
Yeah. So today I have with me my girlfriend, Patricia.
What's up?
Is there anything you would like to say about yourself?
Nope.
I know we have like a couple things to talk about. Whatever. I can get long-winded if I need to in terms of like making things last conversation-wise. I know we're not exactly armed to the teeth with topics today. Although you talk, you find more things to talk about. And then that just further spawns more topics. Would you like to start with anything like the abortion thing? Or?
I could have worn my shirt if I knew we was going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about anything. Go anywhere.
That wasn't in the list of topics, okay?
It is right there. Pro-life people. It's right there. Pro-life.
Dang.
It's a topic.
No, I want to wear my shirt. We got to wait.
No.
Dang.
Talk about it now. You can just say your piece.
Fine. Well, we are.
Go on. You talk.
We are pro-choice.
Why are you pro-choice?
Body autonomy, bro. That's it. That's the whole thing.
That's a good reason to be pro-choice. I guess I'm body autonomy too. Although I think that's one reason, but for me, the first thing that I think of when I think of the abortion thing is
the kids in foster care.
The kids in foster care and just kids growing up with shitty lives. And whatever, body autonomy, definitely probably the most important part of the argument. But the thing that sticks with me is again, kids in the foster care and, people who seem to be pro-life. I don't see them adopting kids by the dozens. So.
That's always in the comments from everybody on TikTok who's activists. They're they only care about when the person is pregnant with the baby. They don't care about the baby after it's born.
Right.
That's all the comments.
Right. They want you to have the baby. And then these same people who are, probably more on the right side, right, Republican, or whatever you want to call it, right wing. Then these same people turn around and are against socialist programs. Like medical care. So they want to force you to have a baby, even though you're probably already broke in most of these situations. So now you have the baby and it can't get medical care. Or you can't get quality insurance or whatever. That's just the most confusing, and that's it though. Truly, that seems to be it for them. They just want you to have the baby with no follow-up.
I think the scariest part coming from a woman's perspective is that they don't care about the person who's carrying the baby. They just care about the baby.
Right.
So
You're a vessel.
My life
right.
it doesn't matter as long as this baby has to be born.
It's like we were talking to my sister the other day.
No matter the circumstance.
Your body is the sacrifice.
Yeah, we're the sacrifice.
You're a vessel.
Baby.
You're a vessel.
No matter what.
That's it.
It's so scary right now.
That is a little scary. Now, sometimes...
a lot of scary.
Sometimes, okay. See there, sometimes we talk and obviously all the fucking time we talk because we live together. But so when we talk about this specific topic, you're very much I know part of it's funny, even though it's a serious topic, but these are funny things.
It's just so fucked up that it's funny.
Discuss in passing, but you more than me seem to believe that we're probably gonna be living in Handmaid's Tale times.
I don't believe that, but this is a step
just
in that
direction.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm we're probably pretty far from that. I don't know if do you believe we're pretty far from that?
Uprising.
Yeah. There we go. And I think, maybe I'm more of for those Handmaid's Tale, it's a show about women getting fucked over. If I have to sum it up real quick. It's more complex than that, but also not really at the same time. That's pretty much what it is. Specifically in America, the show is the setting. And whatever, women don't have any rights. And I guess maybe to an extent, I'm the foolish boyfriend who's no, it's never going to be, or don't worry or whatever. I guess remaining optimistic
You're the guy
when
that's like, oh, you don't even have to go to work, so
right,
don't worry
right,
about
like you
it.
can just work from home. I'll take care of you or whatever. But even though I want you working and
But
doing
that's how it
stuff.
first started happening. Like women couldn't have jobs.
Exactly. That's how it first started happening. It was like the employment was like the big shocker.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, it's shitty, obviously, because I'm pro-choice or whatever. But I just sometimes like when I have to take a step back from these things because I don't always go hard about this stuff. You know, it comes and goes in waves. So sometimes I'm like, yeah, this is hot. This topic is like hot as fuck. Like, this is a hot tamale topic.
Tamale.
And then other times I'm like, it's cyclical. Like they pass it, they ban it, they pass it again. Like it just comes and goes in waves. But it shouldn't be that. It should just be always
Yeah.
pro-choice.
So like if it
Right.
happens to where, we don't have
Right.
access to abortions, it's just scary that if this is possible, then something worse is also possible.
Now my hope is that certain states will stand up and just still allow it, which probably will be the case. Now, like the level of complexity that I don't really understand is like certain states supposedly like lose support in certain ways from the federal government, like when they cross like agendas. So I don't have a specific example on that, but that's the type of things that states risk, I guess, when they go against the federal government. Maybe like, I don't know, whatever money that the federal government gives to states, like this is something for them to worry about that, impacts everybody in the state, probably, depending on the issue.
I don't know. I don't know much about it either, but I know there are like some maps that people are creating, and it's like states that are protecting, women's body autonomy, like
Right.
abortion's protected, and then states that are gonna go with the pro-life people.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much research went into that, but it's only like a
Right.
handful of states that are like,
It's just a colorful map.
no matter what, you're gonna be able to get abortions here, and then in those states, you're not.
Which is probably like California, New York, more of like the super left democratic states, I guess, are probably going to be the ones.
So basically, we're gonna be moving.
Yeah, probably not Florida, I guess, if I had to guess. Florida is
I
pretty.
feel like I saw Florida on one of the like protected states on the map.
With the COVID thing, like Florida shocked me in a positive way because I didn't. Florida, whatever. If you live in this country and if you were at all plugged in watching the news, Florida was like.
Yeah, because everybody hated us.
Right,
here.
the wild, wild west when it came to like COVID mask
They're like,
restrictions.
Florida's the reason why we're all
right.
COVID. Like,
Florida's gonna fuck us all over or whatever. Like, but I consider myself a Floridian for these few years that I'm here. Like, I was happy about it. I know you were probably on the same page.
yes, because I had to coach with a mask on. Like they can't even hear me. I'm over here with a mask on. Okay, like.
Right, but people don't want to hear your argument though. Like,
No,
they don't care. Like,
because
you're
I
killing
understand.
grandma by doing that.
I understand
Right.
that too, though.
Like, really? Like, your muffled voice is worth the life of my grandma? Like, that's where they
But
take
you know
it.
what's weird
They
though?
take it there.
They're like wear masks.
The
but
Democrats
also,
take it there.
But they're like wear masks, but also still do what you've been doing. So like the risk is still there. You're still bringing your kids to gymnastics practice. They still have a heightened risk of getting it, but you're like, just wear masks.
One thing that gets me about the mask thing, and I did support it in the sense of like, you shouldn't want to get people sick, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When that's kind of common sense part of it. But one thing that I wasn't really a fan of, and these were like in the beginning when COVID was first coming out. I'm not going to say I was first on the scene or whatever, but I was definitely like, I know I was one of the first people paying attention when it was popping up in other countries and it wasn't here in America yet. Because I had conversations with friends and they were like, oh no, I'm not worried about it. I live in Oklahoma. And then that was my friend Josh. And then I won't worry. And then I was like, okay, man. I was like, they're saying this thing is way more infectious than the flu, way more deadly, like all that. Long story short,
We got it.
of the point that I was trying to make is doctors in the beginning, like people who were like PhDs, like they'll always and forever understand more this stuff better than me and you. And that's how I see it anyways. Most likely, right? Most likely they're more informed than me. I'll speak for me. But they're like, well, we can have everybody wear the mask, but they're not going to wear it right. are they gonna wear the right type of mask?
They're still touching on the
They're
mask.
wearing like cloth like this. Like this is like people were wearing anything like over there. They just walk like there's still like
headbands,
shit. Like there's holes everywhere.
shirts, like, underwear.
Even if they have a proper mask with N95, right, or N95, yeah, I don't know. Like they're still like fidgeting with it. So you're already disrupting the process. These are just regular
like
people.
You're still infected regardless.
Like the gap in education and like just knowledge base between me and somebody who's medically trained like is so wide.
That's why Dr. Fauci was on TV so much though, because he was trying to explain it to all of us so we could understand. Right. And honestly, he explained it like very. It was easy for us to take it in. To digest, but people, they didn't care though. They were like, well, still why? And I'm like, he just told you. Right. I mean, it was easy to understand. Like, I get it, but people still don't. They want to do what they want to do.
Yeah, my thing was just like, you know, regular people are not going to wear the right materials. They're not going to wear... They're just not going to do it right.
And we still have to pay for it, too. And then there was a shortage. Like, some people can't afford to buy masks every now and then. And then if they can, it's not even a guarantee that it was even available. You know what I mean? Right. So it was like wear masks, but also how? Right. You know, it was crazy.
Yeah, I was. Man, that's just like so much. It's so much.
They're like, we're gonna provide masks to all the other countries who can't afford them, and I'm like, there's people here that can't afford them too. I'm like, what about?
This is spicy. This is spicy to me.
Like I get it, but it's also like, but what about the people who can't afford here too?
I love like when like the political left and right or people who belong on it just goes to show you that like not everybody is on one side of like the aisle, because I know you to be, you know, fairly like progressive and labels. To sum it up easily, right? Exactly. To throw lazy labels on you like progressive, and I wouldn't necessarily describe you as like a Democrat. But in some ways I would. But like this thing about like what you just said about like, you know, why are we going to take care of the other countries when we need masks right here? Like that's a very Republican conservative notion. Like why take care of anybody else? We have enough people like dealing with issues right here. And I'm not like calling you out or whatever. It's not some like, aha, I got you. I'm just saying like I enjoy that about people. And I think if people would just think a little more critically, they would realize that about themselves.
Yeah, like nobody is all the way over here or all the way over here.
Exactly. Like
it's definitely a spectrum.
Like the same people who want to like the pro-life people are also like, you know, pro like save the animals or whatever. Like I don't know, like the same thought process can be applied to different issues. Hypocrites. Kind of I wouldn't go that hard about it, but if you're like an accidental hypocrite, you don't realize it, I'm like more lenient with you, so I wouldn't like be so quick to attack, I guess is what I'm saying.
But a lot of them who are accidental though, once you lay it out, they're still like,
right,
so
right, there's a big so like man, like I know this one person. And now I'm like circling back to the pro-life, pro-choice thing, who was a young mom. And I'm not talking about my mom, but this person was a young mom, but they had really good parents. And like, they really looked out for their daughter, as, you know, many good parents do when she was a young mother, and like tried to help out as much as they could, were always there. You know, like this is a woman who always has someplace to go. Mm-hmm. Like worst case scenario, you move back in with your parents. Like, and this woman is so like super pro-life. And it's just so easy for somebody like that to be pro-life.
Because she's never had to struggle.
Never had to struggle. Like,
so she doesn't know what somebody who was forced to be born into this world, she doesn't understand the circumstances they might be born into.
Like you might be, I'm not saying she never knew her own like little individual struggles, but when you have such a big safety net, like mom and dad are always there,
she's out of touch.
That's not really the struggle. Like, oh, I know I was late one time on like my phone bill. I'm like, but you always had a place you could have.
But you had parents.
Fell back to.
You had parents though.
So it's easy for you to be pro-life because you can just keep having babies and mom and dad are always just going to be there to catch you when you fall. Like, and you're not thinking outside of yourself of like the person who doesn't have shit, who they're just gonna have a baby and they literally have no parents, no monetary like support. Yeah, that's, I mean, it's like a little rude, I guess. Like, it seems rude. It's very inconsiderate. It's
Okay.
very inconsiderate.
So now let me bring up this also into the pro-life, pro-choice thing.
Okay.
A lot of people who are pro-life are also like, well, don't have sex.
That's just not thinking rationally. Like
they're like, well, don't have it. Like, if you know you could get pregnant, why have sex then?
You know, that's
their one of their biggest arguments.
That's the technical answer, really. But it's, at some point you have to live in the real world, and the real world is people are having sex, and lots of unprotected sex, and
even protected sex is not 100%. Right. You know.
And you know, I'm not for abortion in terms of like just use it as birth control. I don't love that, but having said that, I'm not going to try to stop anybody. Like, if my sister was out there wilding and she was one of these 10 abortion women, like, I would be like disappointed in her in terms of like a health thing, but I wouldn't tell her to just have a baby when she doesn't want to have one.
Well, I think, and
condemn her to an 18-year commitment or whatever.
It's hard for me to picture somebody who has gotten 10 abortions. Like, that's a lot on the body.
I went high.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Even like 5. Like, that's a lot of.
That was for dramatic effect. 10 was for dramatic effect.
There's plan B for that.
But certainly there's women out there who are doing that. I don't know what number they're reaching. I don't know.
Me either.
But even then, like, why stop them though? Like, why try to stand in somebody's way? Why try to stand in the way of somebody's quality of life?
If they're smart, they would realize banning abortions just means banning safe ones. And this is another argument that pro-choice people say. Like, you're just banning safe abortions. Now, people are still going to get rid of it if they need to, if they want to. It just won't be as safe. So now we're going to have a high mortality
rate.
Like
wire hanger shit?
Yeah.
I don't know what an unsafe abortion looks like. That sounds pretty scary.
One that's not being provided by a medical professional.
Just a guy, right? A guy
just
or a girl with a hanger.
Like, I can't do this. Like, get it out.
With an unsterile hanger.
Unsterile conditions.
Oh my God.
Like it's just gonna be.
That's just so bad.
Dying.
And you know, I'm really like, one thing I'm really like, I'm a little up in arms about it. There's like a lot of men who like chime in on the issue.
Why have an opinion? Just shut up.
I'm coming at it from a more selfish angle than that. but
they need to shut up.
probably stay out of it in general. But also, like, you know, like the slut shaming, really. Like, I've been out with a lot of guys in my life from all walks of life.
Yeah, this one's had a life.
You all want to go to the club and probably have unprotected sex with women. Like, and this is not me just like, oh, you can't speak for it. Yes, I can. Like, I can speak for the average guy. Like, you're out there acting a fool, man. Like, I've acted a fool. Like, and for you to so selfishly want to hook up with a woman and have the unprotected one night stand or whatever, and then to bounce back and be like, be pro-life is just so
hypocrite.
That is a hypocrite. That is. It's like the ultimate in selfish.
Like, how do we get pregnant though?
Right. So you want to have sex with this woman. I guess what I'm saying is, like, you want women to be out there, and, like, and sexually promiscuous.
They're like pro-life, but also I don't want to take care of the baby. That's right. Your responsibility, by the way.
Like, guys, you cannot shame women into being sexual how you want them to be, and then like condemn them for like the results of that. Like, that's silly. Like, that's silly thinking. Like, it's foolish.
That's why this joke is going around. It's like all men are gay. That's why this joke is going around, because it's like, like, you want to have sex with women, but you also don't want them to be sexual. So what do you want, a man? Like, it's a joke going around.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's like, you want them to be sexual, but ew, don't be sexual, slut. So it's like, you want to fuck a man then? Because y'all can do whatever. Y'all can be sexual. So that's the joke.
and I can't. I just whatever. A lot of guys are like, oh yeah, that's not me. I wrap up or all this stuff. Like, you're fucking, bro. Like, it can happen. Like, you can get this person pregnant. Probably pretty low chance, obviously, if you're using a condom the right way, 99% or whatever. But it's just the way it goes. That's my like little message to guys out there, and I will always, slam the gavel.
Two people for pregnancy to occur.
Yeah.
At the end of the fucking day.
Right. So, all you guys out there who want women to be freaks and loose and whatever you're looking for when you go out, just
loose. That's an old term.
It is an old term. And I'm 5 years older than you. For those who don't know, I'm 5 years older than you. So the terminology changes every now and then. All right, this is something I want to talk to you about.
Me?
Yeah, sure. You? No. We don't care what the audience thinks. Ooh. You're gonna get this knowledge. Like, you're gonna.
I don't know how knowledgeable I'm gonna be on this new topic.
Very knowledgeable. The audience, they get what they get. Box of chocolates. You get what you fucking get.
And you don't throw a fucking fit.
There we go. If you throw a fit, oh wow, like I'm not gonna listen to you. Probably not.
Leave your comment. It's
a high chance I'm not gonna listen to you, unless it's about the quality content. Content, no. Quality, like the lighting or the audio. Okay. I don't want my shit to be bad. All right. Someone criticized, and you read this already. Someone criticized Jack Harlow for not knowing Ray J and Brandy are siblings. I thought that was really whack. Now let me
for criticism, or for him not to know.
No, whack in terms of criticism.
Okay.
And some of the feedback I saw, whatever. This is like I'm on the Breakfast Club, Shade Room, whatever. These different African American outlets, I guess, right? That's the bigger portion of their audience. And like a lot of the feedback was like culture vulture or whatever. Culture vulture because you don't know Ray J and Brandy are siblings.
That's just a weak criticism.
Right.
But also, like, who even is Jack Harlow? Like, I didn't even know this dude. I just heard his song on TikTok over and over and over. And I was like, what is this song? Popped up, and I was like, oh, this is a song. Like, but I don't even know.
Right. Now that's interesting. Now, I would accuse you in a very friendly, lovingly way of not being like super plugged in. Jack Harlow's newish.
Yeah.
Now, but in the last year, for a good 365 now, he's been like out there in a big way.
But his raps aren't even good.
Right. But forget raps though. Like
I would know if his rap was better, and I would have been like, oh snap, like who was this? Let me look. No, like I just heard Glamorous Loop remix, which is part of his song. And I'm
you never heard the song like, oh, what's poppin'? Brand new whip just hopped in.
Not as much.
I got options. Sports Center top 10. No?
TikTok, yes.
Okay, well that's his song. You didn't know it was Jack Harlow. Well, I guess is what I'm telling you, and this is my belief. You're not that plugged in terms of, I guess, Jack Harlow.
I'm not plugged into him, no.
Right.
Because it's all right. Like, it's okay. Like, it's mainstream sounding music.
Right. And I'm not mad at you for not knowing who Jack Harlow is or whatever. Like, I don't, like, when do I ever talk about Jack Harlow? Never. I don't listen to him. But, I don't know. I just thought it was, like, an interesting, it's weird to see so many people, like, really come down on, like, they were saying, like, Jack Harlow doesn't know, like, rap history or whatever. And I'm like, Ray J and Brandy are, to my knowledge, they're not rappers.
That was a very weak criticism. Very weak. Very, like, why? That just makes you look dumb. You know?
Right.
Like.
And I'm not trying to, like, bait you to, like, not be, like, pro-black or whatever. I'm not, like, secretly trying to brainwash you. In a sense, I kind of knew you would feel the way you do.
Which is what?
Which is, like, that's silly. Oh. Like, that's pretty low threat in terms of, like, racial issues.
People like the music that they like. Okay? Right. Like, I listen to many genres of music. As you know.
Right.
Like, we don't have control. We have a little bit of control, but we don't have much control of who blows up. Like,
what about Bruno Mars? You think he's a culture vulture?
What even is he? I don't even know what
He is okay.
But how would he even be a culture vulture? Like,
I don't have his DNA results in front of me, but this I know. He's Asian American Pacific Islander, so he falls into that category, and he's also Puerto Rican.
Are you sure?
I'm sure those two things. I'm sure. Just like race or something, yeah, whatever.
His father is half Puerto Rican and half Jewish. I don't know what that word is.
Okay.
And his mom is Filipino.
Yeah, so that's about right. AAPI and Puerto Rican. I think he clearly identifies as such. Like, I don't think he's trying to trick you into thinking he's like a black person or whatever.
I feel like he hasn't even shown like any of his. He hasn't really spoken about his ethnicity. I feel like he just like popped up and was like, "I'm here."
It's sort of a non-issue for him. That's how it seems to me. I guess. Like, I don't know, but a lot of people are like,
he's like, "Listen to me sing, bro."
But a lot of people are like, Bruno Mars, you're a culture vulture.
How?
I don't know. I'm asking you. Like maybe you know what the thought process is.
It seems like R&B and ballads and pop music.
Right. I guess it's because maybe he's like imitating like James Brown or whatever.
Yes, I just thought about that.
Now he does. I've seen this. I've seen him many times on very public forums say like, I look up to James Brown. Like he's not like James Brown. Who's that?
Yeah.
He knows who James. Like he knows how he sounds.
Yeah.
And he knows that it's similar to stuff like that.
That's different. Like he doesn't do it in a way. He doesn't try to rebrand it though. He's just doing it. And he stated that he looks up to him. So it's like,
what's rebrand? Okay, rebrand. What do you mean by that?
It's like I have locks, right? And then like if you went and got locks and was like, I'm gonna call these something else, and I created it.
Like I'm gonna call these strings or something. Like just make up a new thing. I'm gonna
call these strings, and I made these, and this is a new trend. Like he's not claiming
he's not trying to take it and say that it's his or whatever. Yeah,
that's when I have an issue. But I mean, we like what we like, and if we like it, we're gonna express it. You know what I mean? Like,
sure. Bruno Mars, he nobody really. Now what I'm saying is I've seen a lot of it. I guess okay. One, like the shit that I'm like telling you about, this is coming from like Facebook, which is like Facebook, and I'm not really on Twitter that much. I have an account, but I just follow comedians I like. I don't really do anything on there. But a lot of criticism is levied on Facebook and Twitter.
All the morons are on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
I was gonna say retard. Honestly, I was gonna follow you with retarded. There's a lot. That's a bad word. The R word.
No, it is. Whatever. Go.
So, oh man, I'm like stuck on the R word now. That a lot of shit that I'm telling you is like from Facebook.
Yeah.
And I think the loudest voices are clearly the most displeased. Usually.
Yeah.
Most the comments are not positive, and I think that's just like the pattern of human nature. Like most people are just gonna complain. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts on what I see, like in terms of like complaints and stuff.
I don't know. Like people just like excitement. Like people like disagreements. People like drama. So if they can create drama, that's nice for them. That's all it is. Like I don't even think they really honestly care. They're just like, let me create this drama so I get all these comments and become popular. And
that's definitely like I don't even really care. We were just talking about this Ukraine shit. Like, bro, like I'm done with like so many people. I'm not really done, whatever. Like I can't really be done with people that I was never really like involved with. But when I see like the outpour of like support for like Ukraine, it's just so silly to me. Only in terms of there's many other countries with issues. And on top of that, who was talking about Ukraine a year ago? Like, Ukraine is not the only place that's getting fucked up right now by a force greater than their own. Like, obviously, Russia's bigger than Ukraine, so they're probably going to slap them around come the end of this conflict. But I don't know.
I don't know enough.
Do you care enough to? Yeah.
I truly do not know enough to speak on this. Like,
but maybe you can speak on
like the history.
No. Well, history aside, like I'm not really trying to give a history lesson. I'm more trying to say like people hopped on the bandwagon of like support the yellow and blue or
Yeah,
whatever.
but
It's
that's
just like,
also easy to do when you just see other people supporting. But if you know the
right,
background to it, then you can have more of a, individualized opinion. But
right.
people just hop on the bandwagon. But I don't know enough, so I don't join in. I'm just like, okay, they're going through stuff. I get
Hmm.
it. But I'm not gonna like put the flag on my fucking profile.
Right. Okay.
like,
Yeah, it's just been a little confusing one for me. Like, it's whatever. It's so it's like a political thing that like the average.
everything's political.
Well, everything is political, but it's like a political thing that the average person has allowed themselves to be like roped in on.
Yeah.
Like, I know you didn't care a year ago about Ukraine, bro. Like, you probably couldn't point it out on a map. Most people, like, maybe you guessed that it's in Europe or whatever. Like, but good luck. There's a zillion countries in Europe. Like, would you pinpoint the right one?
I
Would you
wouldn't.
know? I might have gotten close. I can't say for sure that I would have gotten it. I'm like, on the border of Russia. I would have
Geography
chose
is
something.
my weak suit. I don't.
Hmm.
I can't tell you where shit is.
You know what I really wanted to talk about? And this is like a little more spicy, I guess. And I was talking to another friend about this. Why is it that every white person's favorite rapper is Eminem? Have you noticed that?
I have not noticed that because I swear maybe it's because I'm in predominantly black spaces usually, except for when I moved here, obviously.
Sure.
But usually, white people try to like assimilate into black culture, and so they choose like the biggest black rapper they can think of. Like, oh yeah, I love them. That's usually what I've seen. But we have different spaces,
different experiences. That's true, because I spent a good 4 to 5 years of my life in Oklahoma, and that was
that's predominantly white.
super predominantly white.
Yeah,
a lot of white people.
So
up there.
they don't really have to blend in with all the black people around them.
That's true. There really wasn't. Okay, that's a good point. Like, I didn't see a lot of like white people. This is like such a dangerous discussion. a little bit. I don't think I've said anything too crazy yet, but yeah, what I saw in Oklahoma was not a lot of white people like trying to assimilate.
Yeah,
like they're just, it's pretty country, like it's pretty out there. It's pretty
saw some
obvious.
Confederate flags out there. I feel like I would see some.
Yeah, I did. A little bit. It wasn't as rampant as I thought it would have been, but Oklahoma is not really like the deep South.
Yeah,
it's kind of like South.
It just sounds like it would be Oklahoma.
I think they kind of consider themselves like the Southwest, like Arizona or whatever. It's not, obviously it's not the same shit, but like that's that part of the country, like Southwest. They're not like Alabama or Georgia or places that I never even really been to.
Won't catch me out there.
Yeah, I don't really have a desire to go.
Yeah, so no, I haven't experienced
You haven't noticed that? That's just me. I was just like, why?
But one of my favorite rappers is Eminem, though.
Sure, and that's fair, obviously. Like,
so it's like, I don't know.
Like, here's the like in
He's just good.
Okay,
That's what I said.
Here's what I'm saying. In a vacuum means like, and I'm not, maybe but in a vacuum, it just means like this one thing. Like, if I just walked up to a random person, who is your favorite rapper? And if that person so happened to be white and they said Eminem, like, that's not what I'm talking about. But like, when I've asked so many people, like, I've been a couple places in America now, like why majority
it's been astoundingly.
of the time? Yeah, I'm like, it's every time not every time, but many times, like, they always say Eminem. And I'm just
he's the biggest white rapper.
I guess that's just
maybe
that's just a little sickening.
Maybe
to me.
they choose it because
it's like an identity thing.
Yeah,
they see themselves in him.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's like,
that seems silly to me.
I don't know.
That seems silly to me. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Get me in trouble? With who? I got no friends. I have zero friends.
You have no platform.
You are my friend.
You're not a politician.
You're my only. That's it. This.
I don't know. That's just a little thing that I noticed.
Maybe Maya, but she's Asian.
And I was talking to this one person who's like very religious. You can whatever, like pretty conservative. Uh-oh. Is the earth flat? Like, we're talking almost the 9 yards.
Yeah.
Like, don't use the microwave because there's
Yeah.
radiation or whatever. Like,
Mom.
you kind of get where I'm going with like white person, religious. I'm like, what kind of music do you listen to? Like, just gospel.
And then Eminem.
Just gospel, followed by 3 white rappers.
You know what?
And I was just like, Eminem is sure as shit not a gospel rapper.
It might be. It might be because they have like some form of racism, right? So they're like, but if I'm gonna listen to rap, it's gonna be from a white person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna listen to it, it's gonna be Eminem. Or whatever. And that's not to say he's not good or whatever. Like,
oh, because he is.
Whatever. I'm not here to have that discussion because honestly, I don't really care. Like, I don't listen to Eminem.
Shame on you.
Yeah, I'm not really like a huge fan of his. I don't know. It's just something that I noticed, and I was like, "Am I alone in this?" This is one of the. I think that's what it is. It's like, am I alone in what I'm noticing? But like you said, we've
different
been
spaces,
in
different places,
different spaces. Yeah, so you're not going to have the same feedback that I've gotten over the last 30 years of my life.
I've always experienced like white people just wanting to essentially be black. I've experienced a lot of that. It's fucking weird.
I don't, maybe growing up in Memphis, that's a thing. I never really saw that though. Like, I guess, see, that's the thing. Like, you're saying, like, that's all I've seen. Like, I've never, like, growing up where I'm from, just like, the city is like 3% white people. I never really noticed them trying to be black. But maybe, I think the thing was, they knew they were like the one, like, for every minority for every 50 minority, there's like one white person.
Where you were?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I guess it's a thing of like, they're like, all right, I'm the,
yeah,
I stick out or whatever.
Let me stick out a little bit less.
I guess I never noticed them trying to like assimilate or whatever.
Oh. They were just like, I am different, so I'm gonna be different.
Or if they acted like a minority, it's because that's all they know. Like, they're literally in a city filled with minorities.
But that's not
maybe what you're saying.
That's not how I grew up. You know what I mean? Because I would say it was almost like 50-50 in the classrooms, like elementary, middle, high school. Like, there were a lot of black people. There was a lot of white people. Like, so,
I don't know. I guess it's just, I like to ask you just for your perspective on certain things.
Because, usually, now I'm not going to generalize here, but usually minorities have bigger personalities anyway. So I feel like
they're more loud.
Bigger personalities. I feel like a lot of extroverts tend to be like a Hispanic person or a black person. You know what I mean? Usually, like, if I see a white person, I never see them like really
like charged up.
Yeah, I don't
Oklahoma,
really see them.
I saw
like,
that.
Really?
They were charged up.
That's weird.
Charged up. The first time I ever openly heard somebody like say the N-word to somebody, now we're getting like extreme or whatever. Like, I know I'm kind of going to
like ER
more towards
or like
ER.
Ooh.
Like, I mean, I heard it like on PlayStation growing up, but that's like international. You don't know where that person is.
That's where all the cowards are.
Yeah, you don't know where that person is or whatever. Yeah. I can't say that they live in Oklahoma. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like in Oklahoma is the first time I would hear like in the street, like move N-word. Like, they would say that
to a black person.
To a black person.
See, that's why I'm not gonna be living there.
One time it was a friend of mine. Yeah. We don't talk. You don't know this person. You've never seen me or known me to communicate with this person. Yeah, this is many years ago. I mean, I haven't lived in Oklahoma in 7 years?
They were like, this Igor.
Yeah, we were just like in the street. It was like a little like market festing, and there was just a group of black people, and he was just like, move, N-word. I was just like, and shame on me. I didn't like say anything to him.
I'm pretty sure you were like just shook that it came out of his mouth.
I was shook. And I was like a little afraid for him because it was a group. This guy's like, I mean, anybody could probably beat this guy up. Like, anybody.
Oh, and you feel like if you like stood up for them, maybe he would get hurt or something?
No.
Oh. So what would you be afraid for him?
No. I was afraid for him that they were going to whoop his ass.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have helped.
Fuck no.
Just because, dude,
You deserved it.
I'm not going to be the person backing up the N-word saying.
No. Like, well.
Like, bro, you're going to have to take that ass whooping.
It's above me now.
And I think if he had gotten his ass whooped and then learned something, then maybe we could have stayed friends. But, like, I knew, like...
You didn't want to make the circumstances volatile.
No, I think I was more just stunned than anything.
Yeah.
I was...
Like, no, yeah. Sometimes you just have to be like...
And it kind of made me think, like, I'm not the most Hispanic person that you'll meet. I'm pretty, like, some people think I'm ambiguous or whatever. To me, I see Mexican. I'm not looking.
When I saw his Tinder profile, I thought he was white.
Yeah. So whatever. And maybe to an extent, I am. We don't know. We haven't done the ancestry test, but I was shocked that he would do it because I didn't know he was that way.
But he also knew you were Mexican, though.
And that's why I didn't think he was that way.
Yeah.
Because I was like, like he knew for sure that I was a Hispanic
You were
person.
Acceptable. You're more acceptable.
Right.
I mean, look at you compared to me, right?
Right. Like, the way I talk, the way I look, I guess I'm acceptable to a certain group of people. Mm-hmm. But it did make me think, like, okay, like...
You're weird, bro.
Obviously, many people see black people as, like, the bottom of the totem pole. Mm-hmm. And maybe in his eyes, I'm more up the totem pole than that. Mm-hmm. But I was like, you probably still have some weird thoughts about Hispanic people, too. Mm-hmm. I was like, I know you've seen some Hispanics walking around and you probably had some filthy things to say.
It's probably like, get out of our country. Like, I'm sure he would yell that across the street.
Right. It was just shocking. I don't know. Oklahoma I had fun, but it was weird in a lot of ways.
I'm straight.
That I didn't enjoy.
I'm straight on it.
If I could rewind time, I would have definitely talked to him about it. I would have been like, I don't know what I would have said, though.
I feel like if I were you, I don't know. I feel like...
I would have just been like, look, man, if you're going to be saying stuff like that, and more importantly, if that's how you feel, we cannot, like, this friendship cannot go on.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, like, this is just impossible. So, already, we're pretty much done. Like, that's probably what I would have said. Like, because that you would even say that in that way.
And so comfortably, too.
To a black person's... He didn't really say it to his face. It was more like he's moving to the crowd, like, move. Mm-hmm. Like, that's still pretty bold. Yeah. And I guess it really doesn't matter if it's bold or not.
Don't fucking do it.
just don't. More importantly, don't feel that way.
Treat humans like humans. How about that?
Like, more importantly, don't feel that way.
Yeah.
Because this guy, like, he was just like a country dude. Like, didn't really come from anything significant, but I guess, whatever. He felt empowered that day.
Empowered.
Right. Strange. Whatever. Most of the time, this stuff is not really, like, an issue to me.
What do you mean?
Like, race stuff or whatever.
No.
I mean, it's interesting, like, this is all kind of coming from, like, the Ray J, Jack Harlow situation or whatever.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. People were getting, Jack Harlow, I think he's pretty young. I think he's, like, 23.
I wouldn't fucking know.
And whatever.
Boring.
But for, like, a 22, 23-year-old, I'm surprised he knows who Brandy is at all. Like, in terms of, like, national significance, like, I don't think Brandy's been...
If he's my age and he's, I don't know.
Yeah, different spaces. That's the different spaces thing.
That's why.
Like, how would he know Brandy?
But if he's been plugged in...
Like, his mom's listening to Brandy? Probably not.
But if he's been... I guess the argument is kind of like, if you've been plugged into black music, right, then you should at least know some other black artists. Yeah. And if you don't, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He knew who they were individually. I guess I kind of misled you.
No.
On accident. He knew who they were individually. Okay. He just didn't know they were siblings. Yeah,
that came out, like, years ago. Like, for a lot of people didn't know at first. And then, like, it, like, exploded on, like, Facebook. Like, but that was years and years and years ago. Right. It's like, where have you been?
He would have been 14. Right.
So he would have been 14, like I knew.
Right. Probably not plugged into the Ray J, Brandy, like, they're not that famous, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, and I think
not today, no.
Not today, not at all. They're not famous at all.
They were big back in the day.
They're nowhere near as famous as they were. Yeah. So for like a 23-year-old, like, you really think a 23-year-old, you really think all 23-year-old white people are, like, plugged into, like, who Ray J and, like, Brandy are?
I wouldn't think so.
Right.
No. But these are also just assumptions that we make just because of a race.
Yeah, that's true. You have to make a lot of leaps and a lot of assumptions
Yeah.
when you have these kind of discussions. That's why it gets a little scary. Not scary, but it gets ridiculous fast.
There's like no ground to stand on. It's
Right.
like, oh, because I'm white, I don't know.
Because I saw some black people who were like, I don't pay attention to Brandy and Ray J. Like, they ain't done shit in a decade.
Yeah, but they knew they were siblings, so.
But they knew they were siblings, and then.
But also, why is that important to Jack though?
I think he was on the Breakfast Club, and it was like a trivia thing.
Oh.
I think it was like a trivia thing. Yeah, Breakfast Club gets you tied up.
Okay.
Charlamagne's always out to get people.
Oh my god, I do not like him.
In a way that I enjoy.
I do not like him.
I enjoy some Charlamagne.
You just like all villains.
Right. I guess I do. I didn't want to believe it at first, but I kind of do.
I point it out every time.
Squid Games, I like.
You like the villains.
He was the villain in a way. They were in a tough spot, Squid Games. The guy with the glasses, who came in second place.
Mm-hmm.
That was my favorite.
He's a fucking villain.
I'm just like, he was in a tough spot. Like,
that was his friend.
I don't know. They weren't friends. I think they were kind of acquaintances or whatever. Who they grew up around each other is what it was. They weren't friends. They weren't. I swear.
Okay.
I swear they were.
They had history together.
But the main character was so friendly, like, hey, buddy. But the other guy was not really.
I mean, he
wasn't reciprocating.
His mom, their moms know each other and shit. Like.
That don't make people friends.
Oh my god.
They just grew
as far as everyone else in Squid Game, they friends. Everyone else was fucking perfect strangers, comparatively.
I guess.
If you wanted to protect anybody in that atmosphere, you protect the people you fucking know.
I would have.
And he didn't.
Here's what I'm willing
Especially
to say.
with the cookie one, because he knew that was the cookie one, and he gonna let him choose. See,
the umbrella
villain.
He was villainous. He became more villainous as the game progressed because he got more desperate to survive. Which is a good character.
But also, I haven't seen it in a long time, so I don't.
Right, my memory is a little fuzzy. Like, I didn't remember.
I would still say that he's a villain, though.
Yeah, he would. The average person probably would brand him as a villain.
Yeah.
As opposed to.
But also, I can't.
Well, the real villains were the game makers.
Yes.
For taking advantage of desperate
But
people.
also can't really blame him because you had to live to win. You know what I mean?
You're fighting for your life.
But still, he wasn't protective of him, though.
No.
Like, if we were in it, I would be protective of you, and I'm sure vice versa until the very fucking end.
Right. And then at that point, I'll just say, you just kill me.
And then we would just fucking sit there. It'll be like some Hunger Games. Like, let's eat these berries, baby.
You'd have to kill me.
I was like, let's eat these berries.
Nah, you kill me.
We eating berries.
I would demand you kill me.
Oh my God.
Or I'd jump off of something and kill myself. Like, yeah, go get this money, because they're not going to let both of us walk out of here. So, I have to take the L on that one.
Maybe we could fake your death.
That'd be nice. I'm sure there's some poisons out there that could pull it off.
We could fake your death, and then after I win, I just go get you. Because did he know about the? No, only the police officer knew about the people who was harvesting the organs. He didn't know about that.
Yeah, because he went undercover. He had he was moving up the ladder, stealing different outfits.
Yeah,
and shit.
He fucking died. No, he lived at the end. Did his brother kill him?
We don't. Yeah, because
he shot him off the.
His brother was kind of the ringleader in a way, and he shot the cop brother, and then he just fell off into the water. But we don't see confirmed death.
True.
Season 2 is gonna be weird.
Season 2
is gonna be strange.
We're gonna watch it.
And I'm like, what is this guy supposed to do? Become?
First of all, I'm so mad at him because he didn't go see his daughter.
That was fucked up.
That's dumb.
That was really fucked up.
Your daughter is more important than whatever the fuck they got going on over there. Right. Worry about your own first, and then you can,
You kind of finally had that secure future that you always wanted.
He had it.
All the money you
could
ask for.
I'm actually going to go risk my life again and probably die and never have seen my daughter. And then the last time he saw her, it was embarrassing. Did he get, kicked out of their house that last time? Was it the last time he saw her?
Yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah. Like that's gonna be her final memory of you potentially.
Yeah,
So
just acting a
selfish.
fool.
He's so like the act in itself isn't selfish because he's trying to, save other random people, but he's still selfish in terms of his daughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's not your job right now, bro.
Right. It would be. I couldn't see myself prioritizing, trying to be the superhero over like just going to my kid.
If I found out, I'll be like, look, baby girl,
Right.
your father doesn't exist. Okay, this new one that I married, he's your father. Okay, sorry, that's it. That's all. If you would try to come back up, like if you miraculously did everything that he's supposed to be doing, like going saving the people and tearing down the game, and you lived and came back, I'll be like, just leave.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be pissed. I'll be like, okay, that's cute. Bye.
Like that?
Yeah.
You want to talk about my H pylori?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to go in
like 25.
Yeah, we can still if you want.
Yeah, I think that's enough time for us to cover it.
Oh.
So.
First of all, let me say, hold on.
Okay.
He's sneaky. He's sneaky. He's very sneaky. But it's easy for you to be because I trust you, though. So, like, you didn't have to try that hard.
Right, yeah. I guess there was really nothing to hide, though. The only thing I was hiding was... But you hid it, though. Well, I mean, there was no, like, paperwork anywhere that you could have seen. There was no...
When you got the drugs to treat to treat the symptoms.
Yeah.
You hid all of that.
I did hide that.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Yeah, it's good to see it from, like, your angle, honestly, because...
Yes.
I lived in my own mind for 3 months. It's going fucking crazy.
What's weird is that, like, I felt like something was a little off, but it wasn't super noticeable. So I'm like, something is weird because I'm like, why is he going to the guest bathroom so much? But I was like, maybe he just has to poop all the time and he doesn't want to poop in our bathroom.
Yeah. But really, I was
dying.
Yeah, really, I was taking laxatives, or not laxatives, suppositories. 2 suppositories, and then
up the booty,
the stool softener, which that one, thankfully, it was so tiny. That one, mouth. I don't know. I think the weirdest thing was, I don't know, if I was a girl, a woman, and I saw my boyfriend or husband crying all the time, I think that would be pretty alarming. Like, at this point of the story, everything's out. And yeah. I know I'm like jumping.
Oh, so you're saying you wanted to hide it to not alarm me? Okay, I'll let you finish.
No. I guess what I'm saying is, I'm like, I wonder how it feels as a woman to see like your man like crying so much. Because it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
It was.
I was scared.
But
I was shook.
You also have to, I mean, I think you understand now that I don't have traditional views of femininity and masculinity.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that's the reason y'all be killing and raping people anyway, because y'all can't fucking cry, right? Like, everybody's a human. Like, everybody cries, bro.
I'm a little bit of a crier when it comes to, like, movies and stuff, too. Like, I will get watery eyes.
Spider-Man.
But, like, the H. pylori thing was a level of crying I've never reached in my life. Like, that's the first time I've ever been like that. And I guess when you think you're dying, I guess that's the time.
It would be weird if you weren't crying. Like,
right.
Like, I could have cancer and this could kill me,
right.
But I'm not gonna cry though. Like, dude, you're gonna go like off yourself if you don't cry.
No, something that I enjoyed about you is like you really didn't treat me like any differently. It was a little weird. It honestly was a little weird. I was like, yo, she really don't care. Like there was like a moment where I was like, either she's not that concerned. I was like, either she's so optimistic that it's not shaking her, or 2, she's just not that concerned if I'm sick or not. I was like, those are really like the only 2 possibilities. Like, what else can it be?
And then what was it truly?
I think you just didn't believe I was sick like that. Which ended up being the situation, but that's how I interpreted it. I'm like, I guess she just didn't think. She never allowed herself to believe that actually.
So I knew you were sick, obviously, but this dude was like, I'm sick and I'm going to get cancer and I'm going to die. Right. And I was like, well, this is what we know right now. You just have H. pylori.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
that doesn't mean cancer.
Does not guarantee cancer. No.
So that's why I was like, you have H. pylori. This is what we know. This is what we need to stick.
That's the only confirmed information we
have. And
right.
you need it to be grounded in that way, so you don't spin the fuck out.
No, I was grateful to. That's why anybody that I told, I was just like, do me a favor and don't treat me like any differently. Which my mom was like the worst person for that shit. She was the worst person. She was the worst person. Like she just fed into like every like sad moment that I had, and it was bad.
You're her baby boy.
Yeah, it was.
Your little Mikey. Of course.
Yeah. She was like the worst person to talk to about that. And like when I told her, and not you yet,
that was like fucking mistake.
That I had confirmed H. pylori, like of course she WebMD'd it right away. And she was like, "Did you Google it already?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Did you see what it can cause?" I was like, "Yeah." Like I saw. And for her, like that was like,
yeah, but like you have to look into the statistics and stuff too. Like,
right. I think it was like only 2%
get cancer.
People with H. pylori develop.
Yeah. So I think I read that too. It was like a low percent, and I was like, bro, what are the odds? I mean, these are the odds.
2%, yeah. You know? The odds is 2%.
I'm like, chill out. Right. Yeah, I just didn't want you to like spin just out of control all the way.
Things were when we went on vacation with my aunt and uncle. That really helped, just because I was like always moving around. It was hard to escape from it mentally, but if anything's gonna help, it's like going on a vacation like that, where you don't have to do anything but just have fun. Just worry about trying to have fun.
Theo and Thea.
Shout out to Theo and Thea. They hooked it up.
Yeah.
They really did.
Bro, we was never hungry. No. We were never hungry.
Never hungry. Never hungry. The room was awesome.
I think that's an episode for another day though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's why I was just like, you're not dying, so I'm not gonna treat you like you're dying.
I guess I don't know, like when you feel like you don't want to eat, like that was alarming. That was really alarming.
But you also have to remember it's a gastrointestinal what's that word?
Yeah,
issue.
It's gonna affect my hunger. Like literally that's what it is.
I'm like, yeah.
Right,
so
my stomach.
Like, you have to like just ground yourself, you know?
It was
because
hard
we've all gone down the rabbit hole of Google, and it's never that. At least so far in my life, it's never been the worst of the worst. Never. Yeah,
I was just whatever. Thankfully, I'm good.
And I didn't get it, which is weird. I was negative for H. pylori.
I think I looked it up somewhere, and like somehow the people that calculate the odds are like the odds of you getting reinfected are like pretty fucking low.
Were there odds of like transmitting it though?
I didn't see anything like that. I don't know the numbers on that. They just said it was, I mean, obviously it's like possible just by touching stuff or whatever. Like impossible to know how I got it. It's not like an STI where I can like track it to a person.
I mean, you can't even do that.
Yeah. I mean, if
that was your last part, if that was your only partner, sure. But if you were going around, like you can't pinpoint.
Well, the less you go around, the more you can pinpoint.
Yeah. But regardless, you didn't give it to me. I didn't have it, and that's really weird.
And I was happy about that because I was like, the two of us don't need to be.
Me too.
Going through this right now.
I was pretty calm about it though. I was like, well, get it treated and get out of the way.
That's really all you can do.
Yeah.
I stuck to my pill regimen really good. I was on it.
Because once you got it, you got it. What you gonna do?
I remember they were like, if you don't stick to this pill regimen the right way, like you will still have it. And I was like, oh no, like I'm done with this shit. I don't know. I don't know.
Was it bacteria? It was bacteria because they give you antibiotics.
Yeah, it's a bacteria.
Yeah.
I guess, we don't want to force any topics on Box of Chocolates. That's not what we're here for. So, if you don't have that much thoughts on it, I'll let you off the hook. There's no need for you to be forced to say anything you don't actually feel.
You feel like I'm being forced to say something?
No.
Oh, weirdo.
I can tell, but from talking to you, it sounds like you don't have that much to say about it. And you never really did. You never really did.
Because I'm like, you're not dying, bro. Like, And I feel like I said that to you before, or at least in like a different
some form of it.
Yeah.
Some form of you're not dying, bro. Yeah.
I think it really bonded us because like going to the hospital, going to the gastroenterologist, and when you got your colonoscopy and your endoscopy, first of all, that was very interesting. I kind of wish I could have like got like a window when you were having the procedure so I could like see what's going on.
All you would have seen is me just laying down looking.
But I want to see the doctors putting a tube down your throat and like I'm sure they got a screen they can see on and stuff like
that. That would have been very interesting.
Yeah.
To like actually have footage of.
But when he came back out,
the exam,
he was higher than a kite. Only for a second though.
It did wear off pretty quick.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like you were back to normal in like 30 seconds after you came out.
Yeah, it does happen pretty quick.
I was like, oh, this isn't.
When I got my wisdom teeth taken out, it was way worse than anesthesia.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like way worse. Like I was like
they just went into your
body an hour or something.
But the anesthesia is like not even anywhere near the same as getting a tooth pulled. But he came out, he was like, oh, it works so fast. It works.
It's impressive.
And at first I was like, what are you trying to say to me? Because it was just like slurred and you were like laughing and like crying. And then I was like, what? And then you started speaking more clearly. And then he was basically just like in awe of the anesthesia.
Yeah, it's impressive what they can do.
But I'm like, why is that the first thing you say when you wake up?
I'm just still impressed. I'm impressed now. Like just like me thinking about it in my head, I'm like, it's impressive that they can knock you out and then wake you up. And it's like, it feels magical, honestly. Like being put to sleep like that. But it's not. It's fucking anesthesia. It's not magical at all.
But
it's not.
And then your love of apple juice kind of developed a little bit at that point.
Well, because it was like
I feel like you drank apple juice at a couple restaurants after that when we would go out. You were like, apple juice.
Yeah, it was like a heartburn thing. Like apple juice was like so non-threatening.
Yeah.
Like it was just so easy to take down. That even water was kind of funny sometimes.
Really?
Like I would drink water and I would feel like, not that I'm gonna throw up, but you know how it feels like when it feels like you vomited a little bit, like that. Dealing with that acid reflux. Oh. Some kind of indigestion. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know the difference between those.
Yeah.
I'm not a gastroenterologist.
Neither am I. Neither am I. That's why I went to one. It was cool.
We got to see pictures. Oh, you showed it already. The pictures of your stomach and stuff.
I think I did.
It was very confusing to look at. I'm like, this is like the same picture.
Oh, yeah. They kind of have it broken. They actually, like, the diagram, the packet that they gave me was pretty well broken down. The nurse or
whatever she was very nice. Like, she was willing to explain anything you asked her. She was like, if you have some questions, just ask me. And then she still came. We didn't even, did you ask? You did ask.
I was just like, I think I asked about the polyp.
Yeah, you asked about the diagram, like the pictures too. You were like, what is this? And like, she just went right in. That was really cool.
Yeah, because there was something, the thing that I thought was alarming was nothing. And then because I probably still do have gastritis, even though it's a lot better than whatever I was going through. Like it looks like a rash on the inside of my stomach. I don't remember if I posted that. But I was just like, hey, what's that? She was just like, inflammation. Like she was so cool about it. I guess that's how they're trained to be.
Yeah. But like how often do you... I don't know. I just feel like hospitals and doctors and stuff, they're so busy. Like you never have that like individualized conversation. It's just like you go in, you wait 3 hours, you get seen, and then you go home. Like
right. It's not a person. It's not a very personable experience. They like give you a pamphlet and then you're like, yeah. I'm starting.
So I liked her.
I watched the Dr. Mike video because I was watching a lot of Dr. Mike videos.
Paperwork.
He was just like, a lot of doctors feel like you have to be a robot, and I firsthand experienced that. Like doctors not wanting to look me in the eye, like not really. This is zero. It is like talking to a machine a lot of the times. Like it, whatever, like doesn't give you feedback. It was weird. I hated it.
Like you have to initiate your own questions. They don't like open the floor for questions.
I fucking hate it. Yes. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I don't know what to ask.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I just don't know what to ask. You don't know what you don't know. So that was a little like
American
annoying.
healthcare, bro.
It was a little annoying to me, but they did what they had to do for me.
Yeah.
So I guess that far matters more than them like patting me on the shoulder or whatever, which is what I was looking for, if I'm being honest.
But the patient and the physician
Right.
relationship is something that should be,
Like, it's like bedside manner.
It should be
Right.
It should be important. Patient-centered care.
Had the doctor been like 99% chance you're gonna be fine, I would have been walking around way differently.
Didn't one doctor say that to you?
She said it's probably not what you think it is, based on what you're telling me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, I hugged onto that for 3 solid months.
I'm so glad. When he told me she said that, I was like, yes, the load.
If she would have been like, I don't know, like I wouldn't have went to work. I would have done nothing. I would have been like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, nobody talk to me.
I probably wouldn't have went to work because I'm like, yo, are you okay? Like, you need to be monitored.
Yeah, I probably would have needed to be monitored.
I would have been like, yo, sorry, I can't come in. My boyfriend is gonna like jump off the roof.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Oh, look at this. Is interesting. We're at 1 hour and 6 minutes, and it's 1:06.
Cool.
That's weird. I guess we can end it here because you got to go soon.
I gotta take you to get your haircut.
All right, and you got to go to work.
Yeah.
We both have to go.
But you the reason I gotta leave early.
That's a little true, yeah. Like 5 minutes early.
15 minutes early. I believe in at 1:30.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, I'll be in there with like 5 minutes to spare. Okay, we'll end it right here. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Eminem is a good rapper. He's a great rapper, actually. He is one of the rap gods.
All right, it's fine to like Eminem. Do I ever hear anybody listening to Eminem? No, but I know people are.
People should not make statements about people of different races because you never have any ground to stand.
Let's not overgeneralize. Let's not say all white people favorite rapper is Eminem. Don't do what I did. Be better than me.
That's just your experience in that area.
But that is my experience. Yeah. That I can honestly say when I ask them, that's what they say.
And I think when people hear things like this, they should always assume that the person means this is my experience, not all white people.
Yeah.
It should always be understood that way. Unless they say everybody in this...
Right, because also, like, let's not be stupid.
Let's not create drama where drama isn't.
Like, I know not every white person's favorite rapper is Eminem. Like, it can't be all for one. So, like, let's be serious. I'm just telling you about what I've noticed in my life. And I wanted to know if she noticed it too. And the answer was no. So there you go. All right, I'm done with this shit. You good?